So let me ask you something. Just how powerful is a human thought? I mean, can your inner intention completely change the reality of your outward actions? Today, we're going to dive into this ancient legal mystery straight from the pages of the Talmud. It's a real puzzle, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Okay, so picture this. You're in the middle of a super high-stakes ceremony, a sacred ritual where every single action has to be perfect. You do everything right, I mean, physically you nail it, but in your mind, you're thinking the wrong thing. So, does that invisible thought have the power to just invalidate the entire physical act? That's the huge question we're getting into today, and believe me, the ancient sages debated this with some serious precision.
All right, so to really get this puzzle, we've got to know the rules of the game, right? We're heading back, way back, like 2,000 years to the temple in Jerusalem to look at the super intricate laws of sacrificial offerings.
And here's what's so wild. In this whole system, your intention, it wasn't just some private, internal feeling. No, it was a core, legal part of the ritual. So an improper thought at the wrong moment wasn't just some minor slip-up. It could literally make a sacred offering completely invalid, just as if you'd completely messed up the physical action.
Okay, so the Mishnah, this is a foundational text of Jewish law. It lays it all out for us super clearly. It points to 4 key actions in the whole process: slaughtering the animal, collecting its blood, carrying that blood to the altar, and then finally sprinkling it on the altar. Now get this, if a priest did any of those 4 things with the wrong intention, like say he was thinking of this offering as a totally different type of sacrifice, the whole thing was disqualified. Seems pretty simple and consistent, right? Wrong thought plus key action equals a failed ritual. Easy enough? But, just when you think you've got the rule down pat, a brilliant sage comes along and just throws a massive wrench in the works. And this, my friends, is where our mystery really begins. We've got a teaching that seems to fly directly in the face of everything we just learned. And here it is, the absolute heart of the puzzle. On the one hand, the Mishnah's rule, clear as day, lists collecting the blood as one of those 4 key acts where a bad thought invalidates the sacrifice. But then, on the other hand, you have the legendary Rabbi Akiva saying the exact opposite. He says that for collecting the blood, the Torah does not treat your intention like a disqualifying action. So, what gives? Which is it? Can't be both, right?
And the impact of what Rabbi Akiva said, it was huge. I mean, his colleague, Rabbi Tarfon, he had heard something similar but just couldn't quite put it into words. But when Akiva just laid out the logic so perfectly, Rabbi Tarfon was so blown away he actually said, "Akiva, anyone who leaves you is like one who leaves his life." Wow. So this wasn't just some dry, boring legal point. This was a moment of pure, breathtaking clarity that just left everyone in awe. And honestly, it just makes our mystery even deeper. How could this brilliant insight flat out contradict a clear rule in the Mishnah?
Okay, so how on earth do we solve this thing? Let's jump into the Gemara's analysis and see how the sages tried to square this circle. And our lead detective, if you will, is a sage named Rava.
So Rava comes up with this really brilliant idea. He's like, wait a minute, maybe the Mishnah and Rabbi Akiva aren't even talking about the same thing. What if he says there are different types of improper thoughts, and each type has a different legal outcome?
So Rava points out 2 different kinds of bad intent. The first is called not for its sake, which is basically just getting the type of offering wrong in your head. The second one, pigul, is way more serious. It's when you intend to eat the sacred offering after the time it's legally allowed. It's a big deal. So Rava's theory is this. The Mishnah, the one that disqualifies the offering during collection, it's talking about the first kind of thought. But Rabbi Akiva, who says the thought doesn't matter during collection, he's talking about the second, more severe kind, pigul. I mean, that's a pretty elegant solution, right? It seems to fix the whole problem. But you know how this goes. Just when we think the case is closed, some new evidence gets brought to the court. And Rava's really neat and tidy solution, it's about to be completely blown apart.
You see, the Talmud doesn't just go, "Oh, good idea, Rava." No way. It immediately stress tests his theory. It brings up another ancient teaching, a baraita, that gets right to the heart of the matter.
And this right here, this is the smoking gun. This other text flat out asks which actions can be affected by a pigul thought. The very category Rava tried to say didn't apply to collecting the blood. And the answer it gives? It says pigul does apply to any action that leads to eventually eating the offering, a category that it says includes collecting the blood. And just like that, Rava's whole idea collapses. The contradiction is back, and honestly, it feels stronger than ever. Okay, so with that first theory totally debunked, the sages have to dig even deeper. And where they land?
Well, it's a final resolution that is so incredibly nuanced, it really shows a level of logical precision that is just astounding.
So here's the crucial point they figure out. The power of a thought, it isn't absolute. It depends entirely on the context. The final verdict all comes down to the relationship between the thing you're doing right now and the thing you're thinking about doing in the future.
Let's break it down. The final logic works like this. If you're doing an essential act, something like sprinkling the blood, which is absolutely critical for atonement, and you have a bad thought about something in the future, then yeah, that thought has real power. It disqualifies the offering. But if you're doing something non-essential, like just pouring out the leftover blood, a bad thought about the future just doesn't have that same punch. It doesn't disqualify anything.
And that's it. That is the brilliant resolution that makes everything fit together. An improper thought only has the power to invalidate a sacrifice when it happens during a ritual act that is absolutely essential for atonement. So the Mishnah and Rabbi Akiva, they weren't contradicting each other at all. Turns out they were just talking about different situations under this incredibly sophisticated principle. Mind-blowing, right?
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This ancient debate, it's not really just about obscure rituals, is it? It's a deep, deep dive into the human mind. I mean, what does it really mean that a thought's power can be so specific, so tied to the physical action it's connected to? It kind of forces you to ask, where is that line, that true boundary, between our inner world of what we intend and the outer world of what we do? Definitely something to chew on.